Hi, my name is Christy Crabtree. I'm a licensed professional counselor and certified hypnotherapist here at the River Source. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about hypnosis and the benefits that it can have in recovering from addiction. The benefits of hypnosis are pretty far-reaching, and a lot of times before we even get into addiction, we experience other mental health disorders, sometimes co-occurring disorders, or feelings of anxiety and depression that can contribute to our use. So hypnosis has a lot of myths associated with it, and I want to talk a little bit about those myths. Hypnosis is really beneficial in treating addiction, and one of the reasons is because so many Americans today are on antidepressants. About 2/3 of Americans are medicated with antidepressants, and of those 2/3, very few of them actually find any benefit from the medication alone. And according to the Journal of American Medicine, they've recently published a study talking about the effectiveness of hypnosis and meditation rivaling that of antidepressants and possibly even exceeding it, which is really exciting to hear because hypnosis doesn't have any of the side effects. So hypnosis is not mind control. During hypnosis, you are completely in control of your experience. You wouldn't do anything that isn't congruent with your value system. So if you're not comfortable quacking like a duck, I couldn't make you do that either. Hypnosis can be beneficial for a lot of reasons. In addiction, our thoughts tend to be out of control. We tend to have thoughts that fire very rapidly, and then we tend to act very impulsively on those thoughts, which contribute to our use. So one of the benefits of hypnosis is learning how to gain control over our mind, and the behaviors tend to follow. We're not ever taught to learn about the thoughts we think, and some of the mindfulness that's acquired with hypnosis allows us to be an observer of our thoughts and to be more reflective and less reactive, kind of gaining mastery over that process. Another thing that hypnosis helps us with is to decrease anxiety. Oftentimes in early recovery, it's an anxious time, especially coming here to a residential setting where you may not know anybody, and might feel lonely or isolated, and of course letting go of that addictive process can be terrifying. So another benefit is of course natural anxiety reduction. Another benefit is of course lowering the risk of depression associated with new recovery. Most recovering people do suffer from depression as a natural byproduct of the brain healing in early recovery. So hypnosis does tend to aid in the recovery process and help the brain to heal by reestablishing those neural connections in the brain and to see your situation from a much larger, more detached perspective. Hypnosis is an experience that's very different from guided imagery because it uses all 5 senses during the process. So it's not just visualization, but a whole 5 sensory experience, which can be great for dealing with traumas. Getting sober and staying sober are 2 different behaviors. It's easier to get sober than to stay sober. In order to stay sober, sometimes we need to deal with some of the factors that have contributed to addiction in stage 2 recovery. So hypnosis can be very effective in dealing with early childhood traumas during a regression process where you can actually go back and re-experience through the 5 senses some of those early memories to help relieve the feelings associated with them. The other thing about hypnosis that can be beneficial is relieving unconscious patterns of thought. A lot of times addiction comes with rituals, and those rituals are housed in the subconscious mind. Oftentimes, for example, with smoking, an addictive pattern of behavior, we have a cigarette in our hand and we don't even realize at what point we picked it up because it's such a quick unconscious pattern of behavior. So in learning to become mindful and learning how to meditate, or through the experience of hypnosis, we're able to bring those unconscious patterns of behavior that might be impacting our health, our relationship, and our well-being into the forefront of the mind, to recognize them, creating increased awareness and being able to change those patterns of behavior that we may not even be conscious of.